Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session titled Automating Image Creation with Packer and VMware vRealize Automation. Okay, I will use another name in a few minutes, Aria Automation. The name has been changed recently. So in this session, I will guide you through the process, automating image creation using HashiCorp Packer and also a VMware vRealize Automation. But the idea is to automate the creation of the image by using a Packer. So I will guide you through the process to create an image. But like I say, before diving, it's important to mention that VMware vRealize Automation has recently been renamed to VMware Aria Automation. Okay, so this is the new name of the product. Recently, VMware renamed it, and this change aligned with the VMware vision for a broader multi-cloud and hybrid automation strategy. So in this presentation, I will use the updated name. Okay, so what is Packer? Firstly, I want to introduce Packer. Packer is a tool from HashiCorp that allows us to automate the creation of images, and these images can be deployed across multiple platforms like AWS, like VMware. And the beauty of Packer is that it provides a consistent workflow and making it easy to create an image in a repeatable and automated manner. Okay, so with Packer, we can build an identical machine image for different operating system and different environment. Okay, so if generally speaking, I like to introduce Packer like I like to share a story with my student. Imagine you are an IT administrator and you are working in a company. Your team has just been tasked with setting 20 new server for a major product, and your CEO wants everything up and running by the end of the week. So you start provisioning server manually one by one, and each server needs to be set up exactly with the same way. Same operating system, same configuration, same application installed, but with each manual installation, a small difference or a mistake creep in. So you may forget to configure one settings on one server, misplace a password on another. By the time you halfway through, it feels like you are drawing in configuration. So now imagine an alternate scenario. You have a tool like Packer, okay, that can automate the entire process instead of spending hour or even a day manually setting up each server. You write a Packer template once, and this template contains all the necessary instruction for your operating system, for configuration, for your application. So with a push, for example, a push in a Git, Packer can automatically create identical, consistent images across all the 20 server in few minutes instead of days. Okay, so this is the power of automation. And if you use Packer with VMware Aria Automation, you will go through another step, because we can create a pipeline, okay, to get the code and trigger creating an image automatically by using the Aria Automation. So what is VMware Aria Automation? So generally speaking, this product is used by many companies. VMware Aria Automation, it's like a cloud management platform that allow you to automate a complex IT process like provisioning VMs, provision workload deployment. It's an ideal tool to manage the hybrid and multi-cloud environment, and also VMware Aria Automation provide a single point for managing infrastructure across different platforms, because you can connect VMware Aria Automation with AWS, Azure, and also Kubernetes, Docker. So different tool can be added to Aria Automation, but you need to imagine Aria Automation as a single point from where you will manage your infrastructure across a different cloud. in Aria automation, we have different products. Okay, as you can see here, we have the automation assembler. Okay, we have also consumption. So let's start with the assembler. The assembler is like, this is where you will design your blueprint to deploy VMs in Aria automation. We have absolutely pipeline. This is what we will use today. Pipeline can help you to automate and orchestrate a process from code to deployment. For example, we have also orchestrator that can provide you more complex scenario to deploy your for example, create DNS record automatically or add user in Active Directory, for example. But today, like I said, the primary part will be focused on VMware Aria Automation Pipeline. Okay, this is Packer will use this tool. Okay. Previously, this tool was named CodeStream. Okay, so like I say, the VMware rebrand the vRealize product. So today, vRealize Automation is named Aria Automation, and previously CodeStream, now named Pipeline. Okay, so if you find Pipeline, so it's the same thing. This is CodeStream. Okay, so today our goal, please remember, we will use a pipeline to Aria automation pipeline to create a workflow, okay, to receive, for example, a Git push, okay. When a new commit come in your Git, we will trigger an automatic pipeline to get the code, configure our Packer, and execute Packer to create an image and sync an image with vRealize automation, okay, or Aria automation, I should say. Okay, so general speaking, we want to show you today a workflow step by step to get the code and create a new image automatically when a Git push comes. So let's discuss the full workflow today. I want to show you the full workflow from pushing code to deploying an image in a vSphere environment, in a VMware environment. So like I say, all start when a developer or any of your colleagues do a push in a push code in GitHub. Okay, so this repository, for example, the GitHub contain, for example, the Packer template. So we have our Packer template available in a specific Git repository, and when your colleague do a push in this repository, once the code is pushed, automatically in your on-premises data center. So you should have GitLab Enterprise, okay, in your on-premises private data center. And the good news, if you have VMware Aria Automation, automatically you can deploy GitLab within Aria Automation. So in your on-premises data center, automatically GitLab GitLab will, if you want, mirror the repository and get the code we just push in GitHub. Okay, so this is the role of GitLab in your on-premises data center. So he will get the code in your private data center by mirroring the repository. Then GitLab locally in your private data center will trigger a pipeline in VMware Aria Automation Pipeline. Okay, so if you remember, like I told you, we will clone the Git. Okay, then we will start trigger the pipeline. Okay, you can see we have three different stages in this pipeline. We will initiate the creation of the image. We will configure, or I will show you all steps, and finally we will trigger Packer in Docker in few minutes. Okay, so like I say, we will start by getting the code from GitHub, okay? And once you get the code from GitHub, your code is available in GitLab, and GitLab will automatically trigger the pipeline, and pipeline automate, like I say, the image creation process. It will pull all the necessary configuration and all the templates and build the machine image using Packer, and then deploy it as a template in a VMware vSphere cluster, okay? And all this process, like I say, will help you to ensure that each time the code is pushed in GitHub, the image creation and deployment process happen automatically, and like I said previously, consistently. We want to be sure that all what the process of the creation of the image is every time the same. Okay, so let me show you. So I will explain step by step, don't worry. Okay, I will go step by step with you. So everything starts, like I say, with the push in GitHub. Okay, the repository contain, like I say, the Packer template, the configuration file. In this example, I will use Rocky Linux, okay, as an example to build an image of Rocky Linux. Okay, so everything related to creating the image, the configuration I want to implement in Rocky Linux, everything is pushed in a repository in GitHub. GitLab is responsible to mirror the repository in our on-premises data center. So any change will be detected by GitLab. Once a change is detected, a webhook trigger a pipeline in Aria automation, and this workflow ensure that all change are captured and the process is automated end to end, removing any manual intervention. Okay, the next step in the pipeline is the communication between Aria automation pipeline and our Docker host. In this example, we have a Docker host in our environment, but it can be a Docker cluster, even a Kubernetes cluster if you want. In this case, in this example, I just put a single Docker host, but you can build a Docker cluster or a Kubernetes cluster, and Aria automation can easily interact with any with the Docker or with the Kubernetes cluster. So, like I say, Aria automation pipeline will instruct the Docker host to pull a container image from Docker Hub. Okay, hub.docker.com. Once the image is downloaded, the Docker host spins up a container where all our operation take place. Okay, so we will do many action in this Docker host. Okay, please remember this Docker host because we ran many things in this Docker host. Okay, so like I said, once the image is downloaded, the Docker host will spin up a container where all the operation take place. And in the next step, like I said, the pipeline will install a process within a container to allow communication between the container and the Aria automation pipeline. And this two-way communication is very crucial because it allows us to execute tasks directly inside the container. So once the container is up and running, one of the first tasks is to execute a cloning. So we will clone the Packer repository from GitLab. Okay, we have a container. Now we will get inside the container containing Packer. We will get all the content. Okay, so the repository containing our Packer template file and other configuration we get from GitHub in our private data center in our GitLab enterprise. So here we will get all the information from like Packer template file and other the other configuration. And as part of this process, like I say, the pipeline will securely get the template, replace placeholders for example, root password with the secure and the unique password for each image. We also configure the extra user in Rocky Linux template and set their password. So generally speaking, this is what we want to configure. So everything will be done by Packer container. If I back to slide ago, you can see it here. We will change the placeholder, create variables. So we are preparing right now all the configuration in the Packer configuration. So once all the necessary data are ready here, once all the necessary data in place are ready, so now we have a kickstart, because it's a Linux, Rocky Linux can be installed automatically. The idea is I don't want to install the VM manually. I want to install the VM automatically by using a technology named Kickstart. And in Linux, we can install an operating system by using Kickstart. We can boot from an ISO file, and by using the Kickstart, we can install the VM automatically. So the idea is we can provide, a Kickstart file and also other configuration file. All this file will be placed in a shared folder, because we will access to this folder after we will access to the Kickstart file, to the configuration file, and all this information are placed in a shared folder accessible by using Nginx. Okay, we use Nginx as a HTTP or a web server, and Kickstart, the new VM created, will reach the Nginx server to get the Kickstart and get all the configuration file to start creating the VM, installing the guest operating system, for example. Okay, so like I say, the Nginx is also running in the Docker host, so everything is running in the Docker host. Okay, now we want, like I say, to create the VM. Okay, so now Packer, okay, will communicate with VMware vCenter. I know it's another product in VMware world, but vCenter, you need to imagine it like the central place from where everything is managed in vSphere environment. So if we want to create a VM, we need an hypervisor. The name of the hypervisor is in VMware is ESXi, and vCenter is like the single point of communication. vCenter will ask the ESXi to create the VM. Okay, so a new VM is provisioned. Packer will communicate with vCenter. vCenter communicate with ESXi to create your VM automatically. Okay, this virtual machine is based on Rocky Linux. Okay, at this point the VM is empty. Okay, so we just create the VM. Okay, and so here we just need to create the VM. The VM is empty. We will assign, so ESXi assign some resource to the VM, you know, it's like how many CPU, how many RAM. So we can configure everything in the configuration file, and we will connect the ISO file of Rocky Linux to this VM. Okay, so we provide the ISO of it's mounted automatically in the ESXi host. Okay, obviously we need to prepare everything in a specific data store in ESXi. So the ISO file should be already uploaded in our hypervisor. Okay, when a VM now powered on, now when the VM powered on, by using the ISO file, the installation will start automatically, obviously. Okay, so Packer insert a boot command into the Rocky Linux installer, which tell the VM where to retrieve, please remember, the Kickstart. We create previously the Kickstart file that contain all the instruction to install our environment. I can show you the Kickstart file, so you can see here. Look at my screen, please. You can see here our Kickstart. So it's contained. It's a very default Kickstart that provide all the instruction that should be done manually, but here will be done automatically to install step by step. All the package need to be created, installed, all the configuration that should be done automatically. So this Kickstart, like I say, the VM is created, the VM boot, and Packer will show where to get the Kickstart that contain all the steps to install automatically the VM. Okay, please remember this Kickstart has been stored in a web server that are running as a container in Docker, in the Docker host. Okay, so now the Kickstart is automatically downloaded. The installation will trigger automatically. I will show you in a few minutes in my demonstration. So now the VM will, using the DHCP, will contact the Nginx server, like I say, and retrieve the Kickstart file. Once the file is provided, we will start installing the operating system. And like I say, once Rocky Linux is fully installed, Packer will monitor. It's important. Okay, we will wait until the operating system is installed automatically and all the configuration is done automatically. Packer will monitor the VM through vCenter to ensure that we obtain finally the final IP address of the VM. Once the VM is ready, Packer will do some post-installation configuration. Okay, so after the installation is completed, the VM will reboot and receive a new DHCP IP address. It's begin also executing any post-installation. If you configure a post-installation script, for example, in my case, let me show you in here. You can see maybe we do some post installation task. Okay, maybe we add some user in sudo to give a super or do any task. You can configure here any advanced task, for example. So we can also update after the installation. We can update the system package. We can execute Cloud init maybe. Okay, if you want to do some advanced task, we can also execute Cloud init. We can set up SSH inside the VM, apply a specific key if you want to change the message of the day. So now, once the VM is ready, okay, once all these tasks are completed after we create the VM, after we install the guest operating system, after we do the post-installation configuration, once all these tasks are completed, Packer send a shutdown command to the VM. After that, we will convert it into a vSphere template. Now we have a template automatically created as a VM, automatically installed, automatically configured. And now when we finish, we shut down the VM and automatically we convert the VM. Okay, we shut down automatically, we convert the VM as a vSphere VMware vSphere template. And this template can now be used to deploy any future Rocky Linux instance. Okay, so as the final step, Aria automation pipeline will trigger an update in Aria automation, okay? Because we need to ensure that this new template is available for the use within the broader of Aria automation environment, okay? At the end of the process, obviously Aria automation pipeline, like I say, will completely complete the pipeline and everything will be removed. Okay, so let me just give you a quick demonstration to see all that. So for example, here this is my Packer. Okay, so you can see I have in this demonstration I have three different stage. Okay, so here we are. Generally speaking, we start by so we start everything by GitHub. Okay, so generally speaking, the initiate phase here, we will get everything ready to be. We clone our repo. Okay, so we have also everything configured here. When you select, for example, git clone, you can see. We can clone the repository. It will pull in the input such a Git repository, for example. After that, we will change, okay, everything. We can change, for example, the placeholder in the configuration, okay. Previously, we create here. Sorry, yeah, you can see here we clone our sorry, yes. I want to stop this video here. So we can do the git clone firstly. Okay, so we will get everything from the repo. Okay, from Git repository, obviously, because GitHub will send to the GitLab, and after that we will start replacing the placeholder. As you can see here, we replace all the configuration, maybe password, maybe user, maybe API keys. Okay, and here Vault I think will be very useful because you can see my password. Maybe they are in text clear in Aria automation. Vault will be very, very helpful here because we can absolutely encrypt or protect our sensitive information. And the next phase, like I say, is to create variable. Okay, so we need to set up some variable, the input variable for Packer, including some of vCenter information, password. You can see it here. So all this is the variable required by Packer. And generally speaking, in the final phase, we update. So here we will build our server, and finally, so you can see here, this is the shared folder. I showed you the shared folder previously that contain the Nginx configuration and all what Packer will do. And the latest one, like I say, we need finally to get an API token and to trigger synchronization with the vCenter to ensure that the new templates created in vCenter are now available in Aria automation. We also have a pull task that will check every 60 seconds. You will see it in a few seconds. And this one will automatically add our VM or our template in our environment. So, like I showed you previously, this is the configuration. Generally speaking, we need a Rocky Linux JSON file required by Packer. As you can see here, we put some variable, okay, because we can get this variable from Aria automation automatically. We have also all the the configuration where we will find the ISO file, the name of the ISO file, for example. So you can configure Packer to execute some task, like I said previously here in Packer. So we don't need many files. You can see also some scripts to be done after when you trigger Packer. Let's say after we trigger Packer, we can automatically execute some file. Okay, so yeah, you can see here the VM has been created. Okay, so automatically, like I said, the VM is created. The VM is installing operating system and doing some configuration automatically after the VM is deployed without any manual task. This is very, very, very helpful when you have many image to create. You need to have a procedure to follow and automate this process. It will help you to gain time. It will help you also to be sure that all the image has been created with the same way. Okay, this is important to have a standard work. And you can see here the build is doing the job behind the scene. Once the image is created, we will update automatically vArray to get the new image from vCenter. Okay. So yes, this is what I want to show you in my demonstration. Generally speaking, like I say, and this the previous talk has inspired me to be honest. Like I said, like the colleagues say previously, related to Vault. In my use case, the password has been stored in Aria automation, but I should improve my my pipeline very quickly by adding the Vault. I think a critical part of this workflow is securing the credential used through the pipeline. We can, I know we can integrate Vault. Vault can store all sensitive information, including the password they want to use, the API keys, and other secrets. So when a Packer or when automation pipeline needs access to this credential, maybe Vault provide them securely. And this method ensures that no hard-coded credential are ever exposed in our configuration file or repository, and this greatly reducing the security risks. Okay, so as we look to the future, okay, these are several ways we can optimize this workflow. For example, we can also automating the testing or template can ensure that every image built is valid before it's deployed. Okay, maybe we can add the test, because here I'm showing you only 3 phases. If you remember, we build the image, but we should also test the image before we add it to vRealize automation, or Aria automation, I should say. Okay. We can also explore more advanced feature in Aria automation pipeline for further or process and reduce also the overhead. So to conclude, for the conclusion, in summary, we've covered here in this small session how to automate the creation of a machine image using Packer, and with the help of Aria automation pipeline, we can automate all the process by only one Git push. Okay, so you do a Git push, and we automate the creation, configuration, deployment of an image automatically, efficiently, securely, and consistently across multiple environments. I had now like to open to floor to any question you have maybe. So like I say, I was very happy to introduce this tool. Thank you again, everybody. And yes, we have finished this lecture. Thank you. See you.